In the beginning of the drama, we see the female lead, Xu Jingjing. She is dreaming of giving a love letter to her crush. Then her mom calls her saying, "Wake up, it's time for school," and she gets ready and leaves for school. On her way to school, she sees a boy eating lots of food. Xu Jingjing asks him, "Can you give me some food? I'll pay you for it." He replies, "Why?" She says, "I'll give you double payment for it." At that moment, both of them fall down. Where they fall, there is glue applied on a shopkeeper's banner, causing them to get stuck there. After that, they both head to school. On the way, Xu Jingjing sees her crush and upon seeing him, turns her face away. Then a boy Gao Jan comes forward and says, "There are some extra uniforms in the supply room. Go there and change." Both of them go to the supply room, but the boy Kang Jiawei doesn't find a uniform in his size. Then, Xu Jingjing's classmate, who also has the same name, Xu Jingjing, arrives and asks her, "What are you doing?" Kang Jiawei responds, "We came to get an extra uniform, but there isn't one in my size." So Xu Jingjing helps him find a uniform. In the next scene, Xu Jingjing discovers that Kang Jiawei is her classmate who just joined that day. In class, they are seated together. Initially, Xu Jingjing doesn't like it, but when Kang Jiawei helps her correct the marks on her report card, she starts to enjoy sitting next to him. Later, she gives Kang Jiawei a sticker she made herself and signed on the back saying, "If I become famous, this will have a lot of value." Kang Jiawei starts liking the other Xu Jingjing at first sight. During lunch, he talks to her and learns that Xu Jingjing likes basketball players. He also notices a bracelet on her hand, which reminds him of a previous scene where he was fit and sitting with Xu Jingjing. At that time, he was also wearing a bracelet he had made himself. This makes Kang Jiawei very happy. Later, he joins Gao Zhan's basketball team because he is good at playing basketball. The next morning, there's a basketball match. Xu Jingjing cheats on her test with Kang Jiawei's help to finish quickly. She then brings tea from her mom's hotel to watch the match. During the break, she goes to give the tea to Gao Zhan, where the other Xu Jingjing also gives him something. However, Gao Zhan drinks the tea, and after drinking it, he starts having stomach pain. He sends Kang Jiawei to play the match in his place, but as Kang Jiawei is about to score the last basket, he collides with Xu Jingjing and falls on her, causing them to lose the match. The letter Xu Jingjing was carrying also falls there. At home, Xu Jingjing's mom tells her the tea had an ingredient that causes digestion issues. Realizing her mistake, Xu Jingjing apologizes to Gao Zhan the next morning. When Kang Jiawei goes to the classroom, he finds the letter in his books, but a classmate grabs it. Xu Jingjing also arrives and snatches the latter from his hand. During the struggle, the teacher comes and takes the letter, calling Xu Jingjing to her office and says, "XJJ is written on the back of this letter," which means, "You have written this letter." The teacher asks her, "For whom did you write this love letter?" She takes Kang Jiawei's name. Kang Jiawei also goes there and, to save her, says, "Yes, this love letter was written for me." Teacher says, "Xu Jingjing, you have to write a self-inspection essay." The next day, while going to school, Xu Jingjing accidentally crosses the road at a stop signal and is stopped by the traffic officer, who tells her, "Hold this flag." While she is standing there, Kang Jiawei sees her and starts taking her pictures. As he takes pictures, he too crosses the stop line. Kang Jiawei grabs the flag and both start talking, deciding to find out who wrote the letter. At school, the teacher asks Xu Jingjing, "Read your self-inspection essay aloud." She starts reading, but Kang Jiawei stands up saying, "Ma'am, I don't agree with this." The teacher asks, "What do you want?" He says, "If she reads this, my ears will start hurting from her voice." The entire class laughs, and the teacher tells him, "Sit quietly." Gao Zhan stands up and says, "Ma'am, this is her personal matter. You can't interfere. If she wants to read it, she will. Otherwise, she won't." The teacher agrees. Xu Jingjing later asks Gao Zhan, "Can you help find out who left the letter?" Gao Zhan agrees, but says, "I have to go somewhere and drop Jingjing home first." This makes them very jealous. Later, Gao Zhan and Kang Jiawei search the staff room for the letter on the teacher's desk. They find the letter and notice golden fingerprints on it. Just then, the teacher arrives, but they leave before being caught. They feel relieved to have escaped. The next day, Xu Jingjing is called by the math teacher, who advises her, "Leave all distractions and focus on your studies." Xu Jingjing tells her friends, "Teacher asked me to leave karate classes and to focus on studies." Her friend says, "Talk to Gao Zhan." However, Gao Zhan refuses to help. Xu Jingjing challenges him, "Let's have a competition. The winner's decision will be accepted." Gao Zhan doesn't agree and walks away. Xu Jingjing says, "I will wait for you." The next day, we see the other Xu Jingjing. "We will call her only Jingjing from now on, so you don't get confused." Jingjing learns about the competition. She starts dancing in the parking lot where a boy takes her photos from odd angles. Kang Jiawei notices and starts a fight. Jingjing calls Gao Zhan, who arrives and tears Kang Jiawei's fake six-pack shirt, asking, "Are you okay now?" Kang Jiawei replies, "Yes, I can breathe now." Gao Zhan explains, "I had been dropping Jingjing home because I noticed someone was following her and taking her pictures from strange angles." Jingjing asks, "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" He replies, "I didn't want to scare you." Later, Xu Jingjing discovers Gao Zhan has left and feels very sad. She is walking home, crying, when it starts raining. She stands in one place, and when she looks ahead, she sees Kang Jiawei coming as well. He also looks a bit sad. Both sit and eat together. After eating, when Kang Jiawei looks at the bill after payment, he notices the same golden-colored fingerprint mark on it. Later, Kang Jiawei goes through all the previous pictures. He observes that during the basketball match and in the dance practice Jingjing does, there are golden-colored flowers in their hands. Seeing this, he says, "One of these girls must be involved." The next day, he tells Xu Jingjing everything and brings the golden-colored flowers. He also shows her pictures in which Jingjing is holding golden-colored flowers. She says, "It could be Jingjing. Since childhood till now, I've never liked her." Kang Jiawei says, "That's not possible." She replies, "I figured it out. You like her." Later, at home, Kang Jiawei starts checking all the girls' social media accounts. He finds a video posted by one of the girls where she talks about her victory. In the background of the video, a girl comes forward and says, "Look, I found a letter." The video ends there. The next day, they go to that girl, and Kang Jiawei says, "I'll get straight to the point. I saw your social media. You post great videos. Can you share the full video with me, the one where you received the letter? Everyone thinks that letter is meant for both of us." The girl gives him the video. Just then, Gao Zhan arrives and calls Xu Jingjing, so Kang Jiawei leaves. Gao Zhan apologizes to Xu Jingjing, saying, "I left that day because of an urgent matter." Xu Jingjing tells him, "We'll have to compete again," and walks away. Later, Xu Jingjing and Kang Jiawei watch the video. They see that when the letter is received, someone reads it and says, "This is a love letter." In the end, they discover that the letter is signed XJJ. They immediately understand that it's Xu Jingjing. Then the girl asks to Jingjing, "Xu Jingjing is your neighbor, right? Can you tell us who she might have written this letter for?" All the girls say, "It must be for Kang Jiawei." Jingjing agrees, "Yes, it's possible." After watching this video, she cries and runs to the girl who read the letter. The girl says, "This letter must be for Kang Jiawei," and Xu Jingjing threatens her. The girl asks, "What do you want from me?" Kang Jiawei replies, "Apologize to both of us." The girl shouts an exaggerated, "Sorry," and runs away. Later, Xu Jingjing and Kang Jiawei sit in one place. Xu Jingjing seems quite sad. Kang Jiawei pulls her aside and gives her motivation. Now she feels happy. She takes his picture, edits it, and says, "You'll look so handsome when you're smart." Then she adds, "In the future, you teach me, and I'll make you smart." The next day, the Jingjing comes and says, "I need to talk to you. Will you come out with me once?" She agrees but doesn't listen to what the Jingjing is saying. Then Jingjing apologizes, saying, "I didn't mean to do that to you." Xu Jingjing replies, "You shouldn't have said that. I've always forgiven you, but this time I won't," and walks away. Jingjing then remembers her past when she came to Xu Jingjing and asked, "Will you teach me karate?" But she refused. Just then, Kang Jiawei comes from behind. Jingjing apologizes him, but he says, "I know you well. You'd never do this to us." The next day, Xu Jingjing is shown training Kang Jiawei, making him exercise. She gives him a watch, saying, "This way, I'll know how much exercise you're doing." While jogging, Kang Jiawei notices some people sitting and playing games. He goes to them and starts playing with them, giving his watch to one of the men so that Xu Jingjing continues to receive his heart rate data. Xu Jingjing calls and asks, "Why are you jogging so slowly?" He responds, "Hello, I can't hear you. Hello," and cuts the call. Xu Jingjing arrives from behind, grabs his ear, and forces him to jog. At home, Kang Jiawei is helping Xu Jingjing with her test online. He says, "Show your face," as she's facing away. She replies, "I won't show my face because you'll take an ugly picture of me." She eventually turns to show her face and Kang Jiawei says, "All right, now turn back and focus on your test." While she's taking the test, Kang Jiawei gets a call and leaves. Xu Jingjing uses the opportunity to leave and replaces herself with a stuffed bear. Kang Jiawei mistakes the bear for Xu Jingjing. Meanwhile, Xu Jingjing is having fun with her parents. The bear falls, and Kang Jiawei calls the police saying, "Xu Jingjing has died while studying." The police arrive at her house, but Xu Jingjing and her parents are too busy singing songs to notice. The next day, Xu Jingjing sees Kang Jiawei sitting in one place as she heads to school. She hides her face and walks away, but Kang Jiawei calls her over and says, "Don't you feel ashamed for playing such a bad prank?" She replies, "I only did it yesterday. I've never done such a thing before." They argue, and Xu Jingjing says, "We can't understand each other. I know you can't jog much, and you know I can't study much." They finally understand each other's perspectives. Xu Jingjing becomes more serious about her studies, and both help each other. On test day, Xu Jingjing has her math and Chinese exams. During the math test, the teacher watches her, and Xu Jingjing asks, "Is there something on my face?" The teacher leaves without saying anything. Afterward, when all the friends gather, Kang Jiawei asks Xu Jingjing, "Will you give me a break from exercising for a few days?" She replies, "Why?" He responds, "You'll get a break from the test too." Xu Jingjing agrees. The next day, Xu Jingjing receives her test marks, in which she gets good grades in only math, so she sadly leaves. Kang Jiawei goes outside and console her. During their conversation, their fight starts, and they argue with each other. Then they place a bet with each other. Xu Jingjing says, "After the summer vacation, if you lose weight, I will follow your orders." Kang Jiawei says, "If you do your own work and stop copying, I will follow your orders." The vacations start, and Xu Jingjing makes her schedule, which surprises her parents. She also enjoys time with her friends. Then she checks Kang Jiawei's ID and notices that he posted a food picture, thinking that Kang Jiawei cannot lose weight. The vacation ends, but Xu Jingjing is still copying homework. Seeing this, Kang Jiawei says, "You still haven't stopped copying." Xu Jingjing is stunned and looks at Kang Jiawei, who has become very handsome and smart. She doesn't even recognize him. He quietly follows her, calling her Doobie because she lost a bet. And Xu Jingjing stops, saying, "I have told you many times not to call me Doobie." Kang Jiawei catches up and says, "It's just a name. You said I couldn't lose weight? Look, I did it, and you lost." After entering the class, their seats are changed again, but Xu Jingjing ends up sitting with Kang Jiawei, which she isn't happy about. When she sits with her friends, she asks them, "Why everyone laughs at me when he called me Doobie? Do I really look like Doobie?" Her friends begin looking at her and say, "No, you don't look like Doobie at all." Then they get an idea, and she becomes very happy. In the next scene, we see Xu Jingjing approaching Kang Jiawei and says, "It's really cold here. Can you give me your coat?" He starts to give her his coat, but then pulls it back and says, "I'm return, you have to stop my fans." All the girls are behind Kang Jiawei because he has become very handsome, but he keeps running away from them. Kang Jiawei then joins the basketball team. Due to his weakness, his hands are shaking, but he still leads his team to victory. After the match, Xu Jingjing sees him sitting somewhere, looking very sick. As she approaches, Kang Jiawei tries to stand up but falls. Xu Jingjing helps him, then she takes a chocolate from her friend and gives it to him. She tells him, "Don't push himself too hard." Kang Jiawei ignores her and runs away. Later, Gaozhan approaches Xu Jingjing and asks her, "Play a match of karate." Xu Jingjing agrees. In the class, everyone is saying Gaozhan will win, but Kang Jiawei says, "If Xu Jingjing loses, I will give you something expensive." Later, Xu Jingjing asks, "Why are you doing this for me? These things are very expensive." Kang Jiawei says, "I trust you." Then karate match starts, in which Xu Jingjing wins, and Gaozhan congratulates her. After the match, Kang Jiawei and Xu Jingjing are sitting together when some boys from another class come and start teasing them, saying, "You've become a queen." Just then, Gaozhan arrives, and they taunt him, saying, "You couldn't beat a girl." Then they start fighting and leave. Next, we see Gaozhan talking about the upcoming matches in school. Xu Jingjing says that she will participate in the race, and her friend also says she will join. Xu Jingjing's friends say that Xu Jingjing will also participate in the race. For Xu Jingjing, doing the 800-meter race is not a difficult task, so she participates. During lunch, Kang Jiawei is looking at pictures from last year when Xu Jingjing was hosting the ceremony, and Gaozhan was standing next to her. Xu Jingjing tells him that they were given a couple name. He asks, "Did Gaozhan participate this time?" She replies, "No, Gaozhan didn't participate this time." He says, "Okay, I will participate too," and she wishes him the best of luck. Then, the three friends take pictures of Kang Jiawei, who looks very different, to put up as his profile picture, where he participated in hosting. Xu Jingjing edits the photos at home. The next day in class, the names of the selected students are announced. Xu Jingjing's friend tells her about the announcement. First, the names of the girls are announced, and Xu Jingjing wins. After that, the boys' names are announced, in which another classmate wins. To this, Xu Jingjing starts saying, "How did you win?" He is celebrating happily, saying, "I won." She says, "There are a total of 10,000 kids, out of which some kids voted for Kang Jiawei, so where did you get so many votes? Then he admits his mistake and says, I doubled my votes. Kang Jiawei becomes very happy at this. Later, when they are returning home, Kang Jiawei gives his jacket to Xu Jingjing, to which Xu Jingjing says, what are you doing? He says, I freed Doobie. She becomes very happy upon hearing this. In the next class, the teacher says to the students, this time, you will definitely win the marathon, and I am with you. Xu Jingjing responds to the teacher, ma'am, I also want to participate in the marathon. The teacher replies, that's not a girl's race, it's a boy's race. Gaozhan also says to her, why do you want to participate in a boy's race? To this, she replies, why can't girls participate? The teacher says, I agree with you that girls can do it, and we will discuss this further. The next day, she goes to the math teacher and says, we girls also want to participate. The teacher starts getting angry with her and says, you should leave now. Xu Jingjing leaves the room. The following day, they are busy gathering signatures from many girls for the race. The teacher approaches the principal to talk. The principal says to her, you are so young. How can you fall for the kids' words? Don't you know girls don't participate in this? She replies, why can't they? Just give them permission once, and the girls will show you by winning. A heated argument begins between them. Meanwhile, Kang Jiawei is practicing with Jingjing. On the other side, Xu Jingjing is seen going to the teacher with the names of the girls. The teacher gets very angry with her. At that moment, Kang Jiawei enters from behind and says, sir, you can't do this. The teacher replies, don't you have manners? You should have knocked. Then he says to the teacher, sir, you should also give girls their rights. The teacher responds, focus on your hosting. Kang Jiawei says, I don't want to host in a place where girls aren't given their rights. After leaving, he confronts the teacher with strong words and even quits his hosting duties. Xu Jingjing asks him, why did you do this? And now, what will you say to Jingjing? Kang Jiawei reflects on his actions at home, thinking, why did I do this? The next day, he goes to Jingjing and tells her everything, to which she replies, you did the right thing, absolutely. You did all this because you are so attached to Xu Jingjing, and she leaves from there. Later, Kang Jiawei goes to Gaozhan's dad's factory with his classmate to get their uniforms prepared for the opening ceremony. Initially, his dad refuses, but Gaozhan also comes and convinces him, after which he agrees. Kang Jiawei shows them the uniform sample he designed himself. He says, I'll talk to the workers right now. Then the school's opening ceremony starts, where the hosts are Xu Jingjing and another classmate. Gaozhan receives a call from his dad, informing him that his car broke down on the way. This makes Gaozhan worried. Meanwhile, the teacher arrives and asks, why are you not ready yet? The opening ceremony has already started. They explain that Gaozhan's dad is stuck on the way, so now, who will bring their uniforms? The teacher says, I'll bring them. But the students stop her, saying, if you're not at the ceremony, there will be a problem. At that moment, the basketball teacher arrives and asks, what happened? Can I help you? Seeing this, the teacher becomes happy. Then it is shown that the opening ceremony of Class 2 is taking place. After that, it's Class 3's turn, which is their class. The two hosts are worried, wondering what to do since the others haven't arrived yet. They start talking to each other to divert everyone's attention. Meanwhile, the math teacher comes and scolds them, asking, where is your class? They reply, sir, we don't know where they are. The teacher says, you people will never learn discipline. Then we see the teacher and the other students waiting for the basketball teacher. When he brings the uniforms, the teacher is happy to see him, and the students take the uniforms and leave. Afterward, they return after changing into their uniforms, and all the students become happy seeing them. Everyone is wearing mini skirts and shirts. Xu Jingjing is shocked to see this because she wasn't aware of it. Then the math teacher comes and scolds them, asking, why are you wearing such short skirts? The principal interrupts and says, I find them very nice. After this, the students march, saying, I am a girl, I want to run, and everyone starts chanting the same. The rest of the class joins them as well. After the march, the math teacher scolds them again. At that moment, the principal arrives and says, there is no problem. If the girls want to participate in the race, they are allowed. Hearing this, Xu Jingjing becomes happy. During the race, Kang Jiawei has his chocolate, which his classmate eats. Then the race starts. This is just a 100-meter race. Kang Jiawei runs 100 meters and transfers the race to another boy. After that, he feels dizzy and falls. Xu Jingjing sees him falling. In the next scene, we see that Kang Jiawei has been admitted to the hospital, and Xu Jingjing is taking care of him. Kang Jiawei asks her, did you make any picture of me? To this, she shows him the picture of the inauguration ceremony where she wore a skirt. He then says, now quickly go and show me how my class wins, and do live streaming. So she goes outside and starts live streaming the entire game. After all the games are over, their class scores 3 points, and the other class also scores 3 points. The last game is Xu Jingjing's turn. Kang Jiawei sends her off, saying, "Now stop the live streaming because the entire match depends on you. If you win, our class will win." Hearing this, she goes to participate in her race. At the same time, her teacher also comes to participate in the race. She asks the teacher, "Ma'am, why have you come?" The teacher replies, "Sir said that girls can also participate, so I came too." Hearing this, she becomes very happy seeing her teacher, and the race begins. Suddenly, a few girls come in front of Xu Jingjing so she cannot move ahead, and another girl from the other class gets ahead of her. At that moment, Kang Jiawei comes on a bicycle and says, "Push them aside and move forward." Hearing this, Xu Jingjing pushes the other girl to move forward, but she also falls down herself. Because of this, she gets slightly injured. Kang Jiawei helps her get up, and she starts running again. At the finish line, many children are waiting for them. First, the girl from the other class reaches the line, followed by Xu Jingjing. When both are near the finish line, all the children cheer them on, saying, "You can do it." In the end, Xu Jingjing becomes the winner. After becoming the winner, she collapses right there. Her friends come to her, and the basketball teacher says, "Take her to first aid quickly." Gao Zhan lifts her up and starts taking her. After her checkup is done, the nurse says, "Only one person can stay here. Everyone else must leave." At this, Kang Jiawei says to Gao Zhan, "Why don't you stay here?" To this, Gao Zhan replies, "I need to go to ma'am's office. Why don't you stay here?" And the rest of the students leave. Kang Jiawei approaches Xu Jingjing and says, "I'll show you one of your pictures." He then shows her a picture where Gao Zhan is carrying Xu Jingjing. She looks closely at the picture and says, "You don't even know how to take pictures. Look, my legs look so fat." To this he says, "Fine, I'll delete it." She says, "No, don't delete it. Just remember to send it to me." The next day, everyone is receiving their prizes. They tease the other class students saying, "Come on, say loudly, class 3 is the best, class 3 is the best." The other class starts chanting it, and when they shout louder, they say, "All right, now smile as well." Just then, ma'am arrives and says, "All right, students, leave from here. Today's treat is on me." Hearing this, all the students become very happy. Then it is shown that ma'am is giving them a treat and says, "Congratulations to class 3 and Xu Jingjing who made the girls win and claimed their right." At that moment, the basketball coach also arrives and says, "I'm late." The students respond, "Oh, ma'am and sir together." Ma'am blushes a little. Then everyone starts eating. Afterward, when Kang Jiawei and Xu Jingjing are walking home together, Xu Jingjing asks him, "How did you become so smart so quickly? Are you taking some medicine to become smart?" He replies, "No, I don't take any medicine. I just eat less and take more protein. That's all." But Xu Jingjing doesn't believe him. The next day, she goes to Gao Zhan and says, "Will you do an investigation for me?" He asks, "What kind of investigation?" She says, "You need to keep an eye on Kang Jiawei, how much he eats, what he does, and how he became so smart." He replies, "Do you have any proof? If you have proof, come to me. Otherwise, don't." Later, when Gao Zhan leaves, Jingjing arrives. She says to him, "My cousin wants to learn karate from you. Why don't you teach him?" He agrees and says, "Let's meet tomorrow." Hearing all this, Xu Jingjing quickly goes to Kang Jiawei and tells him everything. Kang Jiawei says, "So what's wrong with that?" She replies, "The problem is that Jingjing doesn't even have a cousin. So how can she say her cousin wants to learn karate?" The next day, Xu Jingjing wears a fake ponytail wig and goes to the park, where she and Kang Jiawei spy on Gao Zhan and Jingjing. They see Jingjing putting her hand on Gao Zhan's waist. Kang Jiawei and Xu Jingjing quickly run toward them. They ask, "Why are you here?" Kang Jiawei says, "Xu Jingjing brought me here for jogging." Then Gao Zhan tells them, "Jingjing came to ask me about karate." "All right then, we'll both demonstrate karate to her." And then Xu Jingjing starts placing her hand on his waist. At that moment, Jingjing says, "My cousin will learn face-to-face from you." Then it is shown that they go to a place and play all the games. After playing the games, they think, "Let's have dinner." Xu Jingjing says, "The place I booked is only for 2 people." Gao Zhan says to her, "Let's go somewhere else where all 4 of us can sit." Then they all arrive at a place to eat. There, everyone starts eating. Kang Jiawei goes to get something else, and Xu Jingjing is trying to open something to add to the food but can't. When she applies more force, it spills on her face. Gao Zhan gives her a tissue and she wipes her face, but her fake hair falls off. She becomes embarrassed and runs away from there. Kang Jiawei also sees this and goes after her. Looking at her fake hair, he asks, "What is this?" She says, "Just throw it away." Then, as they are walking home, they sit at a place. and Kang Jiawei gets a message from his online friend. She's asking him to meet her at a coffee shop. Kang Jiawei feels very happy. The next day, he is on his way to meet her at that coffee shop. The girl says, "I'm sitting at the second table." He gets ready and is about to approach the table but sees Gao Zhan there. Seeing him, Kang Jiawei runs away. Afterward, he tells Xu Jingjing everything, and Xu Jingjing laughs a lot. The next day, it is shown that the students' parents have come to the school. The math teacher, Mr. Zhao, is talking to the parents. They say, "We saw that video where Miss was saying that you all should date. Does she want our kids to start dating now?" Then another parent says, "Call Miss here right now." When Miss arrives, the parents start scolding her a lot. Miss says, "I didn't mean it like that. You misunderstood." At that moment, all the students come there. The teacher scolds them, "Who gave you permission to come here? Aren't your classes going on?" Then the principal arrives from behind. The principal says, "Stop. Let the students stay here." He then sits and says, "I agree that Miss has less experience compared to the other teachers, but that doesn't mean she isn't a good teacher." However, the parents continue blaming Miss for everything. At that moment, Xu Jingjing says to her mother, "Mom, stop it! It's not Miss's fault." The principal then says, "What if these students score better marks in the midterm exams?" Hearing this, Xu Jingjing's mother says, "All right, fine." Then Gao Zhan says, "We'll make it to the top 3. Hearing this, his mother becomes very happy. Later, when Miss comes to the class, all the students are very sad. Miss says, "It's okay." At that moment, all the students say, "Miss, we will work very hard for you." In the next scene, all the students are sitting at Xu Jingjing's mother's shop, where Xu Jingjing's mother is giving them food and drinks. When all the students are leaving after their break, Xu Jingjing also starts to leave. Kang Jiawei asks her to sit down and starts explaining math to her again, which she doesn't understand at all. After a while, she forgets it again. Then she tells Kang Jiawei, "I just understood this simple question from you, and now I've forgotten it." In response, Kang Jiawei explains the question to the entire class. Xu Jingjing stays up all night preparing for her test so that she can get good marks. Then she takes the test online where she scores well. She is happy about this. In the next scene, there is a simple test happening in class, and Xu Jingjing can't answer a simple question. She leaves the class, and Kang Jiawei follows her out. He asks, "What happened to you?" She tells him, "I showed you this question so many times, so why can't I get it now?" He says, "You can't answer such an easy question? You showed me this 4 times. In the next scene, all the students are preparing for their test in class, and after a while, their test begins. After the test, when Xu Jingjing comes out, her friend asks, "How was that question?" Xu Jingjing says, "Don't ask me any questions." Then she asks, "How did your paper go?" Her friend replies, "I don't know how it went, now I just need to save Miss." Just then, Gao Zhan arrives, and Xu Jingjing's friend leaves. Gao Zhan tells her, "You told me to keep an eye on Kang Jiawei to see how much he eats." Kang Jiawei doesn't eat at all, he just pretends to eat. In the next scene, Xu Jingjing takes Kang Jiawei to a restaurant. There is a lot of food. Kang Jiawei takes food, and Xu Jingjing watches him. Kang Jiawei picks up food, gets up, and his plate is empty. She looks to see where he threw the food, and when he comes back, he eats a little bit of food and says, "I'm full." Xu Jingjing says, "I'm not full, and you should eat more." Kang Jiawei says, "No, I'm full." Then she starts offering him a piece of chicken, and he says, "I'm going to feed you chicken in a new way." She says, "No, you didn't eat anything. First, you were distracting me with conversation, and then you put your food back inside your plate." In the next scene, Kang Jiawei is sitting at a place. Xu Jingjing comes to him and says, "If you don't eat anything, you'll waste away like this." He replies, "No, nothing will happen." She says, "I don't like jokes like this." She's holding a sandwich in her hand, which she offers to Kang Jiawei. Kang Jiawei doesn't take it. She explains, "This is a very good sandwich. It contains all the proteins and there's nothing extra in it that will make you fat. You need to eat 500 calories. And along with that, she convinces Kang Jiawei to do some regular exercises and eat food as well. The next day, everyone receives their test sheets, and Xu Jingjing has very good marks. But Mr. Zhao tells Miss, Xu Jingjing cheated. She is then called to the staff room. The teacher asks her, "Why did you come to my table on the test day?" To which she replies, "Sir, I didn't come here to cheat. I came to exchange the paper because I got the wrong one." Then Miss sends her back to class. After coming back to class, Xu Jingjing is worried that Miss might be expelled from the school because of her. Just then, Miss enters the class and the students ask, "Ma'am, have our grades come?" Miss replies, "I have good news for you." The students are so happy thinking that they must have gotten second or third grades, maybe even first place. But Miss says, Fourth grade. All the students sit silently, and Miss says, "Everyone has praised me a lot. You all have gotten very good grades." Xu Jingjing's friend says, "Ma'am, we can't see you leave from here." Then all the students start crying. After coming home, Xu Jingjing starts crying and tells her mother everything. Her mother says, "I will go to your school and ask who said that my daughter cheats." The next day, Xu Jingjing's mother goes to Mr. Zhao and says, "Tell me, what grade has your class received?" Miss replies, "Fourth, I've even written my resignation letter." Just then, Mr. Zhao says, "One student has cheated in their class." Xu Jingjing's mother enters and says, "My daughter can never cheat." The other students also arrive, and Xu Jingjing tells her mother, "Mom, please leave from here." But her mother doesn't leave. Then Mr. Zhao says, "Your daughter cheated." A heated argument takes place between the teacher and her mother, and Xu Jingjing says, "I will retake the test." Her mother says, "Xu Jingjing, you don't need to retake the test." But Xu Jingjing insists, "I have one condition. I will retake the test if I get good marks, and if our grades improve, Miss won't be expelled." The next day, Xu Jingjing has her exam, and all the students are wishing her the best. After taking the exam, when Xu Jingjing comes out, Miss and all the students are waiting for her, and Miss says, "Thanks, you've done so much for me." The next day, a student writes 102 on the board in class and announces, "These are Xu Jingjing's marks." All the students are very happy. Just then, the teacher enters the class and says, "These aren't such good marks." Then Kang Jiawei stands up and says, "Sir, you need to apologize to Xu Jingjing because you wrongly accused her." The teacher ignores him and tells the students, "Quickly take out your sheets." The other students also stand up and say, "We didn't bring our sheets." The teacher goes to the principal and tells him everything, upon which the principal asks them to sit and says, "You should take some time off." He asks, "Sir, are you expelling me?" The principal replies, No, why would I expel you? I'm just giving you a break. Spend some time with your children." The next day, Xu Jingjing is sitting in the cafe with her friends and sees Kang Jiawei sitting at a place. So she goes to him. Kang Jiawei looks at her and stops eating. She then says, "Today I'm happy, today you can eat," and then adds, "Not right now. My parents have invited you to our house for dinner." Then, both of them are on their way to Xu Jingjing's house, and Xu Jingjing tells him, "My house isn't cute at all because my dad doesn't know how to make furniture, but he still made the furniture, and my mom doesn't know anything about decoration, but she still decorated the house." He replies, "You're lowering my expectations. It's possible that it's a very cute house." She then says, "You'll find out how cute my house is when you go there." When they arrive at the house, Xu Jingjing's parents happily come to meet them. Then they all sit together and eat at the dining table. Then they think about singing, and everyone sings together. Afterward, Xu Jingjing takes Kang Jiawei to her room and says, "You're not supposed to laugh." To which he starts laughing and says, "You had criticized your house, but this is actually quite nice." Then he starts looking at her wardrobe, where he finds a designer book and says, "I didn't think you would read this." She replies, "Why wouldn't I read it? I really like it." Then when he opens the book, he finds a picture of her father and says, "Look, this is my dad." Xu Jingjing asks, "Really? Is this your dad?" He replies, "There's no need to be so excited," and she places her hand on his eyes. He tries to remove her hand from his eyes, causing both of them to fall onto the bed. Xu Jingjing lands on top of him, and seeing this, Kang Jiawei quickly runs away. The next day, Jingjing comes to Xu Jingjing and says, "Can you help me with something?" Xu Jingjing replies, "Yes, tell me." Jingjing says, "Convince my mom that I'm really going to study English and keep an eye on them." Then, she shows her a place and says, "I dance here." She shows a dance video where she's wearing a mask. Xu Jingjing asks, "Why do you wear a mask?" Jingjing replies, "If I go viral, my mom won't know who it is." After going home, Xu Jingjing makes a mask for her, and the next day she gives it to her, making Jingjing very happy. Jingjing takes the mask with her while heading to her practice place, and her mom is following her. Kang Jiawei and Xu Jingjing spot them. Then they message her, but she doesn't read the message. Then Xu Jingjing says, "I know a shortcut." She then runs through the shortcut and reaches there. Just then, Jingjing arrives and says, "You're late in coming here." And from behind, her mother is watching all of this. Then they start talking in English, and Xu Jingjing says to her in English, "Your mom is following you." Next, we see Gao Zhen, whose mother says, "I have a meeting. I'm going there." Gao Zhen also starts following his mom there, and we see his mother going to the same mall where his classmate's dad and his classmate are. This is because his mother is having an affair with his classmate's dad. Then, both of them are picking up things for their house, and they are lying on the bed looking at how it is. The next day, Gao Zhen is absent from class, and the teacher comes and asks, "Who's on duty today?" The students tell her that it's Gao Zhen's turn, but he is absent today. Then, a boy Depeng stands up and says, I know why Gao Zhen didn't come to school. The students ask, why didn't he come? And he tells them, his mom is dating my dad, so he didn't come. He says angrily, Gao Zhen doesn't like my dad. In the next scene, Gao Zhen is shown sitting quietly in one place. Xu Jingjing and Kang Jiawei reach there while looking for him, but Gao Zhen says, I'm not going home now because I don't want to face my mom. Xu Jingjing asks, so where will you stay now? Then she looks at Kang Jiawei. Kang Jiawei asks, why are you two looking at me? And then she says, Kang Jiawei, your house is quite big, right? So you can take Gao Zhen with you. In the next scene, Kang Jiawei is sitting in his house with Gao Zhen, and his dad says, Gao Zhen, you'll sleep in his room with him. Kang Jiawei asks, with me? His dad replies, it's fine for two boys to share a bed, so he will sleep with you. The next day, Xu Jingjing's other two friends see that some boys are fighting with Da Peng and saying, your dad is having an affair with Gao Zhen's mom. Xu Jingjing's friend, Zayo, comes there and drives them all away. After hearing this, Da Peng starts liking Zayo. Then we see Xu Jingjing arriving at a restaurant with Gao Zhen, and the waiter in the restaurant turns out to be Xu Jingjing's dad. When her dad comes there and sees them together, he is surprised and asks, what are you two doing here? Came to date? She says, no, dad. Gao Zhen says, I came to talk to my mom's agent. And then her dad sits there and starts talking about different people for his mom's date. But Gao Zhen says, no, such people won't suit my mom, and then he gives them his mom's contact number and leaves. In the next scene, Jingjing throws a party for everyone to celebrate her music video being shot. Then they all decide to play a game together. In this game, you have to share something, and if no one else has experienced that in their life, they must eat a lemon. Then everyone starts playing the game, and they're all eating lemons. Suddenly, Xu Jingjing says, I have a crush on a boy. Gao Zhen says, I don't have one, and starts eating a lemon, at which everyone keeps staring at him. Then, Xu Jingjing and Jingjing are walking home together. Xu Jingjing says, you'll definitely win in the music video. Jingjing asks, who in the class do you have a crush on? Xu Jingjing doesn't say anything and starts walking away. Jingjing calls out from behind and says, that boy is Gao Zhen, isn't he? Xu Jingjing stops right there. Jingjing says, I've given up on him. Xu Jingjing turns back and looks at her, and Jingjing says, seriously, now you go and make him yours. The next day, Xu Jingjing is sitting somewhere, looking sad, and Kang Jiawei notices her. He comes over and asks, why are you sitting here alone? She tells him everything. He says, that's great news. She gave up on Gao Zhen. She asks, why did she do that? He replies, maybe she found an even more handsome guy than him. At this, Xu Jingjing starts looking around and says, where is that boy? He replies, this isn't a joke. That boy is me. She responds jokingly, yes, I know. The next day, Kang Jiawei invites everyone to his house for his birthday. Then Kang Jiawei comes to Xu Jingjing and says, I arranged all of this for you, to which Xu Jingjing becomes happy. Later, we see Xu Jingjing at the mall, looking for a gift for Kang Jiawei. The bag she likes turns out to be a limited edition and is sold out, so she returns feeling sad. On her way back, she sees a board that mentions a cup competition where the prize includes that bag. The next day, she takes Kang Jiawei with her. The show begins, and the host of the show turns out to be her dad. When her dad sees her, he is surprised and becomes silent. The show starts, and in the first game, Xu Jingjing and Kang Jiawei win. They also win the second game, but the third game involves kissing, so they both leave the game. On the way, Xu Jingjing sees a fake bag that looks similar to the one she wanted but doesn't have the rainbow design on it, so she buys it. At home, she tells her dad, I played that show for this bag. Then she sets off to paint the rainbow on the bag. In the next scene, Kang Jiawei's dad is cooking for his birthday and talking to his ex-wife, who says, I'm getting married. At that moment, Kang Jiawei enters, and his dad quickly ends the call upon seeing him. Kang Jiawei says, Mom is getting married. His dad says nothing. In the next scene, all of his friends arrive at his house for the party. Xu Jingjing notices Kang Jiawei looking upset and starts to approach him, but then Jingjing arrives and Kang Jiawei quickly goes to greet her. Xu Jingjing gives him a gift and says, now open it. Inside is the same bag. Upon seeing it, Xu Jingjing picks up her own gift and starts to leave. Kang Jiawei notices her leaving. He quickly goes to her and asks, where are you going? She replies, I'll be back soon. But he says, that's my gift in your hand, isn't it? To which she responds, no, I brought the wrong gift. I'm going to exchange it. He says, all right, go. As she starts to leave, he takes the gift from her hand, opens it, and finds a similar bag inside, but it was handmade by Xu Jingjing. She says, if you don't like it, give it back to me. To make her laugh, he says, I like it so much, so just give it to me. Xu Jingjing gives him the gift. Afterward, when everyone is eating, Xu Jingjing goes to get the cake, but the cake falls down. Seeing this, Kang Jiawei runs away. Xu Jingjing follows him. Kang Jiawei is sitting far away, eating lots of things. Xu Jingjing apologizes to him. He explains, "After so many years, I celebrated my birthday today. The last time I celebrated my birthday, I was a child, and my parents got divorced, and now my mom is getting married again." Xu Jingjing consoles him, helps him relax, and brings him home. The next day, when Kang Jiawei comes to school, he brings Xu Jingjing's bag. The teacher comes into their class and says, "You all will be taken on a trip to learn farming." Hearing this, the entire class gets very excited. Then, everyone leaves for the trip. When they arrive, Kang Jiawei is making a video somewhere. Xu Jingjing comes from behind and asks, "What are you doing?" He doesn't know what to say and replies, "I'm making a rap." She says, "A rap?" And then he tells her, "Just leave from here." In the next scene, the trainer teaches them how to chop wood, and Kang Jiawei is still making his video. Xu Jingjing comes near him and starts recording his video. He introduces himself in the video, and Xu Jingjing starts laughing upon hearing it. He angrily asks, "Why are you laughing?" She says, "No, sorry, I won't laugh anymore." Then Kang Jiawei continues recording the video and says, "Mom, I've become smart, and look, I'm smiling. We're happy even without you. Now you'll cook for your new husband's daughters, but what about me, Mom?" He keeps crying and talking. Kang Jiawei starts crying so much that he runs away from there. Seeing this, Xu Jingjing also starts crying. In the next scene, Kang Jiawei is standing in one place and the whole class comes to him to give their best wishes. Then, Xu Jingjing steps forward, gives him best wishes, and hugs him. After that, a child brings a cake from behind, which makes Kang Jiawei very happy. He blows out the candles, and afterward, Kang Jiawei and Xu Jingjing sit together and eat. Kang Jiawei asks her, "Did you do all this?" And then says, "This is the first time I've been this happy. Why do you do so much for me?" She says, "Because you're my friend." They both look at each other. Kang Jiawei asks, "Just a friend?" She replies, "What else?" Kang Jiawei says, "I asked because I thought maybe you needed a favor from me, and that's why you did so much for me." To this, Xu Jingjing says, "What's wrong with you?" In the next scene, Xu Jingjing comes to Kang Jiawei and says, "Can you bring Gaojin to watch the sunrise?" Kang Jiawei agrees. That night, when Gaojin is going for a walk, Kang Jiawei tells him, "Today, we'll go watch the sunrise." Gaojin replies, "I'm not interested in these things," and walks away. Xu Jingjing's other friends also leave to watch the sunrise. Xu Jingjing sits in one place and starts doing her makeup. At that moment, the lights go out and she continues applying makeup in the dark. Her friends are scared to go alone. Suddenly, they see a girl and scream in fear. That girl turns out to be Xu Jingjing, who had applied way too much makeup because the lights went out while she was doing it. Everyone starts laughing at her. She doesn't realize how much makeup is on her face until one of her friends shows a reflection on a mobile camera. Seeing this, she runs away. Then she goes to Kang Jiawei and asks, "Where is Gaojin?" Kang Jiawei says, "He said he had something more important to do, so he left." She asks, "Now what should I do here?" Kang Jiawei says, "We'll watch the sunrise together." She replies, "I wanted to watch it with Gaojin." Later, when she goes back to her friends, Gaojin also arrives and says, "Are you all going to watch the sunrise? I'll come with you." On the way, Xu Jingjing says, "I need to go to the restroom. I can't control myself." But her friend says, "No, we won't go because there could be many ghosts here." At that moment, Gao Zhen arrives. He goes to check the restroom for her and tells her, "There's no one here. You can go to the restroom." Her friend leaves her there, and she starts heading to the restroom. She tells Gao Zhen, "Close your ears and keep singing." Gao Zhen does as she says. Then all the students arrive at the spot where the sunrise could be seen beautifully. Next, it's shown that the teacher and sir also arrive there. The students, upon seeing them, say, "Sir and ma'am, you two together?" To this, the teacher replies, "We saw you all weren't there where you were supposed to be. Now come back." The students respond, "No ma'am, we've worked so hard to get here. We're not leaving without seeing the sunrise." The teacher agrees. In the morning, all the students are asleep at the spot. The teacher wakes them up and says, "Look, the sunrise is happening." All the students take pictures of the sunrise and pose with their respective crushes. Later at night, Xu Jingjing is given the responsibility of taking care of the eggs. She goes to check on them and discovers that all the eggs are broken. She starts crying there and, while crying, walks back in the rain. Soon, it's time for them to leave. Xu Jingjing feels very sad even on the bus. When she reaches home, she develops a high fever. The next day, Xu Jingjing is absent from class. Due to her illness, she is admitted to the hospital. Meanwhile, the teacher informs the students, "Your art festival function is coming up, so get ready for it." In the next scene, Kang Jiawei asks Jingjing, "Why do you look so sad?" She tells him, "I don't want to participate in the dance at the art culture festival." To this, he says, "Oh, I get it. You want to participate in the hip-hop dance, right?" She nods, and he says, "I'll support you." Meanwhile, Gao Zhen comes to the hospital to meet Xu Jingjing and asks her, "How are you?" He checks her fever and says, "I brought a notebook for you so you can do your homework." Kang Jiawei comes to visit Xu Jingjing, but sees that Gao Zhen is already there, and when he sees them laughing together, he leaves. Later, Gao Zhen visits Xu Jingjing again while she's sleeping. Seeing drool coming from her mouth, he wipes it off with a tissue. After a while, Xu Jingjing wakes up and asks, "Was I drooling? Did I snore or say anything in my sleep?" He replies, No, you didn't do anything like that." Gao Zhen tells her, "I need to tell you something." Xu Jingjing responds, "Yes, go ahead." Gao Zhen confesses, "I've been coming to see you because I want you to forgive me. The eggs your chickens laid were eaten by my dog. I was responsible for taking care of them." Xu Jingjing says, "That's all?" He nods, "Yes." Hearing this, Xu Jingjing runs away from there. The next day, when Xu Jingjing goes to class, she calls Kang Jiawei. Just then, Jingjing arrives and says, "Kang Jiawei, I need to talk to you." She takes Kang Jiawei outside. When Kang Jiawei returns to class, Xu Jingjing is angry with him. Kang Jiawei asks, "What's wrong with you?" Xu Jingjing replies, "You've started sharing your secrets with Jingjing." He says, "No, I haven't done anything like that." Xu Jingjing says, "I've heard everything." Hearing this, Kang Jiawei smiles slightly. The scene shifts to the judges selecting students for the art culture festival based on their performances. Xu Jingjing and Gao Zhen had collaborated for a performance. When it's Xu Jingjing's team's turn, their speaker stops working during the dance. They continue to perform without music. However, when the list of selected performers is posted, Xu Jingjing's name is not on it. Xu Jingjing says, "It must be my fault that I wasn't selected." While going home, Kang Jiawei calls out to her, but she ignores him. When Kang Jiawei catches up to her, she starts arguing, "You must be happy now that your Jingjing got selected, right?" He replies, "Why should I be happy?" Xu Jingjing leaves without listening to him. The next day at school, Xu Jingjing doesn't talk to Kang Jiawei, and Kang Jiawei starts interacting with other people instead. Finally, the day of everyone's performances arrives, and all the participants give their respective performances. The next day in class, the teacher is explaining to all the students, "Now you all have to move on to universities. These are the university forms. Choose the subject you like and get admitted to it. I'd also like to give you a piece of advice. Those with good grades should start taking advanced classes in advance." The next day, Kang Jiawei goes to Jingjing, who has come to school. She asks him, "Will you choose science?" To which he replies, "Yes, I will take science." In the next scene, Gao Zhen finds a dropped notebook near Xu Jingjing's table. Later, while sitting at home, he reads the notebook and discovers that Xu Jingjing has a crush on him. He starts laughing. His mother comes in and says, "Let me read it too. What's written that's making you laugh?" He replies, "No, I need to go to school quickly. I'm getting late," and runs out of there. Xu Jingjing is walking with her friends when Gao Zhen arrives. Her two friends leave, and Xu Jingjing starts walking alone with Gao Zhen. In class, she is also laughing with him, which makes Kang Jiawei feel very jealous. Meanwhile, the teacher enters the class and announces, "Some students have not yet submitted their forms. Among them are the names of all of Xu Jingjing's friends." In the next scene, Gao Chen comes to Xu Jingjing and says, "Xu Jingjing, today I will help you with your homework after school." Hearing this, Kang Jiawei says, "I will be her tutor and help her." Gao Zhen responds, "This isn't even your subject and I'm free anyway, so I'll do it." Xu Jingjing tells all of this to her friends, and one of them says, "There's definitely something going on. That's why Gao Zhen is treating you like this." Xu Jingjing replies, "I don't have high expectations of him." Then we see the basketball coach talking to the principal saying, "A TV channel is reaching out to me saying they want to come to our school and the students can share their thoughts standing on the rooftop." The principal agrees. Xu Jingjing is sitting with Gao Zhen doing homework when Kang Jiawei arrives. He sits on the back seat, listening to their conversation. Then, in his imagination, Kang Jiawei stands up and tells Xu Jingjing, "You're my online friend," to which Xu Jingjing replies, "I've always considered you a friend. My Prince Charming is Gao Zhen." Everyone laughs at this. However, this is only Kang Jiawei's imagination. In reality, he hasn't said anything to Xu Jingjing yet. Xu Jingjing asks, "Were you going to say something?" And he replies, "No, nothing. I'm leaving." In the next scene, Kang Jiawei comes to school and finds Gao Zhen sitting next to Xu Jingjing. Kang Jiawei makes Gao Zhen get up and sits there himself, looking at Xu Jingjing's work. After looking at her problem, he says, "Your solution is incorrect. This math is a bit difficult. Try another method." Xu Jingjing responds, "This math is perfectly fine. Gao Zhen explained it to me." Hearing Gao Zhen's name, Kang Jiawei gets angry and says, "You always talk about Gao Zhen. What's your problem? Don't ever mention Gao Zhen's name in front of me again." Hearing this, Xu Jingjing leaves the class. Later, Xu Jingjing tells everything to her friends. One of her friends smiles while looking at her phone. Xu Jingjing asks, "Why are you smiling like that?" She replies, "It's nothing, I'm just reviewing my lecture." When Xu Jingjing and Kang Jiawei are sitting in class, Kang Jiawei apologizes to Xu Jingjing. Xu Jingjing says, "You still don't know why I'm upset or what you said to me. You insulted Gao Zhen's work." Kang Jiawei replies, "Yes, I'm sorry. I criticized his work." Xu Jingjing forgives him. At home, Xu Jingjing gets a call from her friend saying, "My dear Xu Jingjing, will you do me a favor? Lie to my parents that I'm at your house." Xu Jingjing asks, "Where are you?" Her friend replies, "Don't ask me that now," and hangs up. Xu Jingjing calls Gao Zhen as well. Gao Zhen says, "She must be going by airplane." They reach the airport, where the teacher also arrives. Xu Jingjing tells the teacher everything and she asks, "Have you found out where she is?" Xu Jingjing replies, "No, we don't know." The teacher says, "All right, let's split up and start looking for her." While searching, the teacher recalls that the girl mentioned she really likes a particular singer. The teacher starts calling out the singer's name. Hearing the voice, the girl comes out and asks, "Where is he?" When the teacher sees her, the girl tries to run away, but the teacher stops her and says, "Come home with me. We'll go together next time, and I'll even pay for your ticket because I also like that singer very much." Hearing this, the girl becomes very happy. Gao Zhen and Xu Jingjing also arrive, and they all take the girl home. The next day, when Xu Jingjing calls out to Kang Jiawei, he doesn't respond. Xu Jingjing goes up to him and says, "I called you so many times and you didn't hear me even once." He replies, "I had the volume turned up too high." She starts telling him about what happened yesterday. He interrupts, "I'm not interested in your story, and you could have called me for help, but why did you call Gao Zhen instead?" She says, "You're just jealous." He retorts, "You're always worried about Gao Zhen. Don't you have anything of your own to care about?" Angry, Xu Jingjing leaves. In class, Xu Jingjing avoids talking to Kang Jiawei. He tries calling her, but by then it's exam time, so she moves her desk aside. After the exam, as she's walking with her friends, she checks her bag and says, "My notebook isn't here." She goes back to the classroom to look for it. Just then, Gao Zhen arrives and shows her the notebook. She asks him, "Did you read more of it?" He replies, "Yes." Xu Jingjing shares all of this with her friends, who start teasing her. Later, Gao Zhen messages her, "Are you free tomorrow?" The next morning, Xu Jingjing is getting ready when both Kang Jiawei and Gao Zhen arrive to pick her up. They argue with each other, asking, "Why are you here?" Kang Jiawei says, "She's going with me to study." Gao Zhen responds, "The exams are over, why does she need to study?" Kang Jiawei replies, "She still needs to study." Gao Zhen counters, "She promised to go with me." Just then, Xu Jingjing comes out. Seeing them fighting, she says, "Kang Jiawei, stop it. I'm going with Gao Zhen." She starts leaving with Gao Zhen, but tells Kang Jiawei, "Why are you following me?" He replies, "You were the one who said you wanted to go with me." After buying some items, Xu Jingjing tells Gao Zhen, "Now you can leave. I'll go alone." Gao Zhen says, "You have so much stuff. How will you carry it alone?" She replies, "I want to be alone." In the next scene, they are eating noodles. Gao Zhen starts talking about the notebook again. Xu Jingjing cuts him off and says, "Don't talk about this anymore. Pretend you never read anything." Then Gao Zhen drops her home. The next day, the results come out. In this, Da Peng doesn't pass. Xu Jingjing isn't looking at her result. Jiao finds her name on the list, but one of their friends' names is missing, and she feels sad. During the break, Xu Jingjing and her friends are sitting together, and they find out that a TV program team is coming to their school. They are saying, "Who will stand on the building and share their heart?" At that moment, Da Peng comes over and says, "I will stand." And Jiao says, "If you stand there and say my name, I'll make your life hell." He replies, "Fine." Meanwhile, Kang Jiawei is watching all of this from a distance. After that, all the students stand near the stage, and one by one, it's their turn to speak. Da Peng goes up, and Jiao looks at him and says, "Don't say my name." Da Peng accidentally says her name and then adds, "I want to say something to a girl from my class. You're going to university, but whenever you see me at school, make sure to look at me with a smile." Next, it's Gao Zhen's turn. He goes up and says, "I came to ask Xu Jingjing if she would like to go with me to my university." Upon hearing this, Kang Jiawei walks away from there. They start putting papers into a basket, and Shu Jingjing notices this. When Shu Jingjing comes home, she takes out the paper she picked up from the basket and reads, "Forgive me, I never understood you." The paper holds all their memories from the beginning to the end. After reading it, Shu Jingjing feels really happy. The next day, when Shu Jingjing is about to leave for home, Gao Zhen calls out to her from behind and says, "You haven't given me an answer yet, so think about it and give me a quick response." Shu Jingjing replies, "Okay," and leaves. Meanwhile, Kang Jiawei is walking with Jingjing. Jingjing says to Kang Jiawei, "Now we will study at the same university." Then Kang Jiawei gets an email, and he tells Jingjing, "I have an important task," and leaves. He asks Shu Jingjing's friend, "What is Shu Jingjing saying?" She replies, "She went home after the holidays." Kang Jiawei reaches the road crossing, where Shu Jingjing is standing on the other side. She calls out to him and asks, "Are you hungry?" Then they sit in a hotel, and Shu Jingjing takes out his letter. She says, "You wrote a very nice letter." Kang Jiawei asks, "Did you forgive me?" She replies, "Yes, I have forgiven you." Then he says, "You should go into interior design." She says, "How can I go into interior design?" Later, at home, she looks into the university's admission process and says, "There are only 6 months left, and I need to learn drawing for that. How can I learn drawing in 6 months?" She tells all of this to Kang Jiawei. Kang Jiawei says, "Talk to Jiao about this." She goes to learn drawing. In the next scene, we see Shu Jingjing going with Jiao to her art class, where Jiao tells her, "Don't worry, you will learn." Then she takes her to the teacher, and the teacher gives her the admission form. The admission form has a fee of 10,000. Upon seeing it, Shu Jingjing says, 10,000? The teacher says, "Yes, it has to be submitted in a single payment." When she reaches home, she calls Kang Jiawei and tells him they charge a fee of 10,000. Kang Jiawei says, "Talk to your parents to see if they will invest in you." She goes to her mom and dad and tells them, "I want to pursue interior designing." Her dad says, "I don't want to send you into this field." Upon hearing this, Shu Jingjing gets angry and says, "It's only 10,000, and you can't even give me that." But Shu Jingjing's mom manages to calm her down. After this, sitting in her room, Shu Jingjing starts thinking, "What should I do next?" She remembers karate and goes to the place where she learned it as a child. She asks, "I saw on your poster that you need a teacher." And he replies, "You're a bit late," as a boy had come earlier in the morning. That boy is none other than Gao Zhen. Gao Zhen tells her, "Do you want to take a part-time job?" She says, "Yes, I need to get admission." He asks, "Are your parents not agreeing?" She says, "Yes, I will have to do everything myself." He says, "Okay, let's split the job money in half. I don't know how to teach small kids anyway." Shu Jingjing feels happy. The next day, Shu Jingjing tells Kang Jiawei, "I am doing a part-time job, and Gao Zhen is also there." Kang Jiawei feels very upset. After class, Shu Jingjing is talking with Jiao when the teacher comes in. Shu Jingjing asks Jiao, "Who is he?" Jiao says, "He's very strict." After entering the class, the teacher becomes harsh with Shu Jingjing and mocks the sketch she made. Shu Jingjing feels very bad and leaves the class. While going home, Shu Jingjing is talking to Kang Jiawei on the phone. Kang Jiawei asks her, "Are you going home with Gao Zhen?" She replies, "No, I'm not going with Gao Zhen." Hearing this, he pretends to be with Jingjing, and then both of them try to make each other feel jealous by sending fake pictures. Kang Jiawei is sitting with his dad, and his dad asks him, "Why are your moods changing so much these days? Have you fallen in love?" Hearing this, Kang Jiawei says to his dad, "Dad, why do you think everything is love?" In the next scene, Da Peng comes to Gao Zhen and says, "Brother." Gao Zhen replies, "Don't call me brother." Da Peng asks, "Why? What's wrong if I call you brother?" Just then, their parents enter from outside and are talking, "Who will be the bridesmaid and best man at our wedding?" Gao Zhen and Da Peng stand up and say, "We will be." Then they tell Shu Jingjing and Jiao about this, and Da Peng asks them, "Why don't you both become our bridesmaids?" Both of them agree to this. Then Jiao and Shu Jingjing are seen in flower girl dresses, looking very cute, and the four of them take a picture together. Kang Jiawei, who is in his class, sees the picture of the four of them and stands there angrily, thinking how they could be their bridesmaids. The teacher asks him, "Kang Jiawei, what's wrong with you?" He says, "I have a stomachache." Then he runs off. And later he calls Shu Jingjing and says, "How can you be flower girl? You don't even have time for this." In the next scene, after teaching the children karate, Su Jingjing sits with Gao Zhen and they sing together so that they can perform at the wedding. Kang Jiawei sees Su Jingjing's pictures, which she has posted from a place, and he reads the name of the place in the picture. Then we see Su Jingjing and Gao Zhen, who are practicing singing together. Kang Jiawei arrives at the same place and starts looking for them. After searching, he reaches a spot and thinks that it is Su Jingjing and Gao Zhen, but it turns out to be the teacher and the sir. Kang Jiawei walks away saying, "You two just stay like this." The sir stops him and holding the teacher's hand says, "We are in a relationship and you shouldn't tell anyone about this." Kang Jiawei says, "You both stay happy," and runs off from there. Then we are shown the wedding scene where their parents exchange rings. Then their singing performance begins, and everyone starts singing one by one. During this song, both boys hold the hands of the girls standing with them. Just then, when Gao Zhen starts holding Su Jingjing's hand, Kang Jiawei arrives and grabs Su Jingjing's hand, singing along with her. The next day, Su Jingjing's friend sends a message to Kang Jiao. Su Jingjing is missing. After seeing the message, he runs away from his class and reaches the place where Su Jingjing is. Su Jingjing says, "How did you find out that I am here?" Kang Jiawei says, "I have seen all your posts and you come here on this day, so I came here to find you." Su Jingjing says, "I don't feel like going home right now." Kang Jiawei says, "Who brought you home? Let's play." They start playing a game. Then Su Jingjing sees a little kid taking a watermelon, so Su Jingjing says, "I want to get it too." Kang Jiawei says, "I'll bring it from inside." They sit and eat together. Kang Jiawei says, "You see Gao Zhen every day." Su Jingjing says, "You do everything with Jingjing, eating, drinking, and everything." Kang Jiawei says, "I lied about that because I didn't want to lose you." She says, "You didn't even talk to me." Kang Jiawei says, "You never contacted me." Then Kang Jiawei says, "Nice to meet you." Su Jingjing says, "What do you mean?" He says, "You are my online friend." Hearing this, Su Jingjing shakes his hand and says, "Nice to meet you too." The next day, the teacher tells them, "You all have your last party coming up and one of your parents must come." During the break, Su Jingjing says, "I don't think my dad will come because I am angry with him." Then the day of the ceremony arrives, where all the students sit with their parents. No one from Su Jingjing's house came because her parents were busy. Just then, Su Jingjing's dad is shown, who gets into a car accident while arriving at the ceremony. There, all the students are receiving gifts from their parents, but no one from Su Jingjing's house comes. Seeing this, she leaves. While leaving, she is seen by Gao Zhen and Kang Jiawei. Both Kang Jiawei and Gao Zhen go to give Su Jingjing a gift. Su Jingjing is playing with a cat. Kang Jiawei comes to her and says, "I got a gift for you." At that moment, Gao Zhen arrives and says, "I got these novels by a great author for you." Su Jingjing takes the gifts from both of them and says, "Thanks." Then Kang Jiawei leaves. When Su Jingjing is going home, her dad stops her and says, "Sorry, I was late for your ceremony." Su Jingjing leaves her dad there. Kang Jiawei is watching all of this. When his dad is leaving, Kang Jiawei goes to him and asks, "What happened?" His dad tells him everything, and Kang Jiawei asks, "Does Su Jingjing know that you got paints for her?" His dad replies, "How do you know I got paints for her?" Kang Jiawei says, "I saw you at the shop." His dad says, "No, she doesn't know, and I was late today because I had an accident on the way." Kang Jiawei says, "Then it's not your fault for being late." His dad says, "Su Jingjing won't understand this." Then, Kang Jiawei goes to Su Jingjing and says, "Why are you angry with your dad? It's not his fault." She replies, "It's his fault." After this, when she goes home, she sees the paints that were bought for her, and when Su Jingjing looks at them, her mom and dad start putting pillows on them. Su Jingjing's mom leaves, and she says sorry to her dad. "I misunderstood you." Then she gives him a drink. Her dad says, "It's wrong for me to drink and for you to have milk." Su Jingjing says, "Dad, I still have homework to do." Then her dad agrees to her interior design course as well. The next day, after going to class, they receive test sheets, and Su Jingjing's scores are low. The teacher comes to her and says, "It's okay, it's just a test." Meanwhile, Kang Jiawei is sitting in his class watching Su Jingjing's class. Gao Zhen tells Su Jingjing that he needs to get eye laser surgery, and after class she goes with him and says, "You should tell your mom the truth." But Gao Zhen says, "My mom will never agree." Meanwhile, Kang Jiawei messages Jingjing saying, "I want to change my subject." She replies, "Can you explain why you want to change?" You can change it, I have no objection. Now I know who you like, and it's not me. The one you like is Xu Jingjing. The next day, when Kang Jiawei enters the class, he sees Xu Jingjing sleeping and sits next to her. At that moment, Gao Zhen comes from behind and pretends to be blind upon seeing both of them sitting together and approaches Kang Jiawei. Seeing this, Kang Jiawei gets up and starts glaring at him. Then he sits back in his place. The teacher comes and announces, Kang Jiawei has changed his class. He has now joined the arts team class. When Xu Jingjing goes out to get water, Kang Jiawei follows her. Xu Jingjing asks him, why did you change your class? Kang Jiawei says, I was supposed to tell you this yesterday, but you went out with someone else. She replies, are you feeling jealous? I went with him to get his eye laser surgery. At that moment, Gao Zhen arrives and says, Xu Jingjing, can you help me with my homework? I can't see. And he asks, I need to go somewhere after school. Will you come with me? Kang Jiawei says, don't bother Xu Jingjing, I'll go with you. Saying this, he also takes him to the washroom. Back in class, he does his homework, but it's just lines scribbled on the paper. And then, during break, he teases him again by taking some food from his side, testing to see if he can really not see. Gao Zhen doesn't let him know that he can see, and when he starts taking him home, he passes him over water, hoping that this time the truth will come out. Still, Gao Zhen doesn't let him feel that he can see. Later, Kang Jiawei approaches Xu Jingjing and asks, which university would be good? He adds, there's a high-rank university, but all the students there are very skilled in arts. Xu Jingjing asks, what do you mean? I can't do it. Kang Jiawei says, no, it's not like that. I'm sure you can do it. After this, Kang Jiawei goes to the teacher and says, teacher, I'm not going to the high-rank university, I'm going to the low-rank university. The teacher asks, why are you going there? And do your parents know? He replies, yes, they know. Then Kang Jiawei tells Xu Jingjing, I filled out the form for the low-rank university. Xu Jingjing starts explaining and says, you did this because you think I can't make it. He says, no, the students there have better art. Xu Jingjing says, when you said this yesterday, I thought you were joking, but you took it way too seriously from my side. And she starts to leave. Then Dapeng comes to Gao Zhen and says, I heard with my own ears that Kang Jiawei and Xu Jingjing had a fight. Now you have the chance to bring her to your side. Then we see Xu Jingjing, and Gao Zhen comes to her and says, I want to tell you something. He doesn't say anything further. All of this is being overheard by Kang Jiawei from behind. Dapeng says, what you want to say, you can't say here at school. And this scene shifts to a restaurant. At the restaurant, Gao Zhen starts saying, I want to tell you this. Just as Kang Jiawei calls Xu Jingjing's friend and asks, why did she go with Gao Zhen and what happened between them? She replies, how would I know? He didn't tell me anything. She adds, don't call me so late, it's not like it's the first time she went alone with Gao Zhen. I'll let you know what happened between them. He says, okay, thank you. I won't call you again. The next morning, Xu Jingjing is shown, and Kang Jiawei approaches her and says, you know, I said that by mistake, forgive me. Xu Jingjing leaves from there. Then her friend asks her, what happened between you two yesterday? Xu Jingjing starts telling everything that happened at the restaurant, where Gao Zhen asked her, I've read all your notebooks, what do you think about this? Xu Jingjing says, forget about this notebook, I wrote this when I had a crush on you. I always wanted to be close to you, but now we've become friends. Then Gao Zhen asks her, why did you stop writing about me in this notebook? She says, maybe because Kang Jiawei came and I got too busy fighting with him. Upon hearing this, her friends say, you must have really liked him, so why did you reject him like this? She says, once Kang Jiawei told me that your feelings are like a gutter. After hearing this, Xu Jingjing leaves from there. In the next scene, Kang Jiawei and Gao Zhen are shown sitting together. Gao Zhen himself picks up the leg base and hands it to him, saying, you picked it up last time. He replies, I was just testing you. I mean, you can see everything. Then he says, this fight is only for Xu Jingjing, right? From now on, you need to take care of her after class. In the next scene, Gao Zhen tells Xu Jingjing, the answer will be this, and it will be with this method. Xu Jingjing starts looking at him, looking. Gao Zhen says to her, did you think I wouldn't talk to you after what happened yesterday? She says yes. Gao Zhen says, I'm not like that, we're still friends. Kang Jiawei is watching all of this from the window thinking, what did Gao Zhen say to me? And now what is he doing? At that moment, Xu Jingjing's friend comes from behind and says, you should celebrate. He says, what should I celebrate? She says, Xu Jingjing rejected Gao Zhen, and now she's not going to the same university as him. Upon hearing this, Kang Jiawei thanks her and rushes to the teacher, saying, teacher, can I still change my university? The teacher says, you've made your decision very quickly, and is happy. Kang Jiawei then approaches Xu Jingjing and says, I went to the teacher to change my university form. She says, you changed your mind so quickly. You should go to a lower rank university and I don't need your help. He says, I'm helping you because I can't stand seeing you with Gao Zhen. If you go, you'll go with me. And he gives her a USB drive and leaves. At home, Xu Jingjing plugs the USB into the laptop and starts watching it, in which Kang Jiawei apologizes. After reading all of this, Xu Jingjing is very happy. The next day, when Xu Jingjing is going home with her friend after art class, Jiao says, why aren't you talking to Kang Jiawei? Why are you wasting your days? You won't be able to meet him after school, so talk to him now. Xu Jingjing says, I don't feel like talking to him. The next day, when Kang Jiawei approaches Xu Jingjing, she ignores him. Gao Zhen starts explaining to Kang Jiawei, you need to get along with Xu Jingjing and somehow make her feel better. Later, in Xu Jingjing's art class, she scores 80+ marks and Jiao scores 88, but she is not happy. On the way back, Jiao says, I just remembered Kang Jiawei sent cards for you. Xu Jingjing takes the card and goes to Kang Jiawei. Then both of them are heading home, talking and asking each other about their tests. At that moment, they arrive at the same crossing where they had an accident previously by crossing at the wrong time. While fighting, they reach the crossing and the traffic officer comes to them, ready to give them the flag. He says, you two broke the rules. At that moment, a child crosses the line, and Xu Jingjing stops him. They both explain to the child, didn't the teacher teach you not to cross the line? They give the child the flag and leave from there. When Kang Jiawei arrives home, his dad says, I have hired a maid for you. I'm going on a tour for a few days. And as he leaves, he hugs Kang Jiawei. Kang Jiawei says, it feels like you won't come back. In the next scene, Xu Jingjing asks him, why are you eating outside? He says, my dad went on a business trip, and the maid he hired puts too much chili in the food, and I can't eat chili. Xu Jingjing starts laughing, and then both of them leave for school. When they reach class, Gao Zhen gets up from his seat and says, you will sit with Kang Jiawei now. I talked to the teacher and I prefer the window seat, so I'll move there. The next day, Xu Jingjing brings food for Kang Jiawei and says, my mom made some really tasty food. You should try it. Then we are shown Kang Jiawei's dad, who is admitted to the hospital. The doctor says, you should inform your family. He says to the doctor, my son is in 12th grade. I don't want his studies to be disturbed. I don't even have any relatives. The next day, the four friends go to the university, and there Jiao says, there is a tree here where if you make a wish, it comes true. Kang Jiawei arrives there at night and sends the location to Xu Jingjing, asking her to come. Xu Jingjing comes and asks, what are you doing up there? Did you come for me? He says, no, I came for myself. Xu Jingjing also goes up to join him, but a police officer comes and tells them to come down. Xu Jingjing says, I could only go up. I'm scared to go down. Then the police officer leads them down the stairs. Xu Jingjing then brings food for Kang Jiawei again and asks, when will your dad come? He tells her, he will be back in a month. Xu Jingjing becomes happy because she will bring food for Kang Jiawei for the next month. The next day, Xu Jingjing is very sad. Xu Jingjing's results come out, and she is very happy to have passed. She goes to school and shows her results to Kang Jiawei, who says, you need to work harder in the finals. This is not such a good result. Then Xu Jingjing's parents decide to have Kang Jiawei stay at their house. Xu Jingjing tells Kang Jiawei this, and he becomes happy. He then comes to Xu Jingjing's house. At night, while Xu Jingjing is sleeping, Xu Jingjing's dad keeps coming to her room. Her mother says, stop it, let the kids be free. But he says, no, we can't leave a girl and a boy alone. The next day, Xu Jingjing's friends ask her, have you ever spent a romantic moment with Kang Jiawei? She tells them a few things. They both say, no, it's not that romantic. Xu Jingjing leaves angrily, and when she gets home, she overhears her parents talking and finds out that tomorrow is Valentine's Day. The next day, Kang Jiawei's dad tells his ex-wife everything, and she comes to meet him. Kang Jiawei comes to his house to get some of his things and sees his mother there. His mother tells him about his dad. He runs to meet his dad and encourages him, saying, you'll be fine. Then he comes to Xu Jingjing's house with his mom to get his things, says goodbye to everyone, and leaves for his own home. The next day, Gao Zhen is trying to get his result, but it's not coming out. Xu Jingjing comes and helps him, telling him that she came first. Seeing this, both of them become happy. The next day, Kang Jiawei is going to take an exam when the teacher comes and says, your dad is very sick. He rushes to the hospital immediately. The doctor tells him that his dad is in a serious condition. Xu Jingjing is also very worried about Kang Jiawei. Kang Jiawei's mother tells him, when you didn't know about your dad, Xu Jingjing knew. She took great care of your dad. Kang Jiawei comes to Xu Jingjing and says a lot of things to her. You knew? Why didn't you tell me? Then he leaves Xu Jingjing and walks away. In the next scene, Kang Jiawei's mother comes to him and he says to her, "Why have you come now?" and locks himself in the room. His mother pleads with him, and he finally agrees and hugs her. After Kang Jiawei comes to class, he still ignores Xu Jingjing. His teacher tells him, "Why aren't you talking to Xu Jingjing? Whatever she did it for your dad." But he ignores everything. The next day, Kang Jiawei's dad's health worsens, and he passes away. When Xu Jingjing finds out, she goes to Kang Jiawei's house, but no one is there. She leaves the paper and goes away. Kang Jiawei, along with his mother, is going to England. He is packing everything Xu Jingjing gave him, remembering her as he leaves everyone behind. Gao Jun is standing outside the class when he spots Kang Jiawei with his mother. Xu Jingjing, upon hearing Kang Jiawei's name, goes downstairs. His mother leaves them alone, but Kang Jiawei doesn't look at her and leaves. When Xu Jingjing gets home, her mother tells her, "A box has come for you." Xu Jingjing opens the box, and it's from Kang Jiawei with a letter. In the letter, Kang Jiawei apologizes, saying, "I shouldn't have said that to you. By the time you get this box, I'll be gone." The box also contains Kang Jiawei's books and notebooks that he used. The next day, it's the last day at school before the exams. The teacher says goodbye to everyone. All the students start crying for the teacher, and then they take photos. The exams begin. A few days after the exams, the results come out, and Xu Jingjing passes with good marks. All the students go to school in home clothes. The teacher arrives, and then Kang Jiawei comes, surprising everyone. Kang Jiawei goes to Xu Jingjing and says something to her. At that moment, all the students start making noise. Then it is revealed that this was a dream, and this scene is from after their graduation. When Xu Jingjing wakes up, she finds out that her house has been robbed. She calls the police and tells them everything, as it is very important to her. Then she goes to the office and tells her boss, "How I will work since my laptop has been stolen." He gives her his laptop, and then both of them go to the meeting room, where they meet Kang Jiawei, who has just returned from abroad. Xu Jingjing is shocked to see him and runs to the washroom. Her boss tells Kang Jiawei her house was robbed, and she probably went for that reason. When Xu Jingjing returns, Kang Jiawei asks her, "What was stolen from your house?" She doesn't speak to him and gets up and leaves. The next day, Kang Jiawei comes for the designing of his house, but there is another girl instead of Xu Jingjing. So he goes to Xu Jingjing, but she scolds him and leaves. Then, Kang Jiawei goes to Gao Zhen, who has now become a policeman. His girlfriend also works in the police. She tells Kang Jiawei, "We've returned all the things that were stolen from Xu Jingjing, but she's still asking for the dog toy you gave her." In the next scene, Xu Jingjing is drinking alcohol at a bar. When Kang Jiawei arrives, her two friends leave. Kang Jiawei comes and Xu Jingjing says, "Why have you come? You blocked me for 4 years." Kang Jiawei starts to say something, but she falls asleep. He leaves her home. The next morning, when she wakes up, she finds a letter on the table, which says, "My dad shared the ideas for this house with me. Please accept this project." Xu Jingjing agrees and goes to his house. Kang Jiawei apologizes, saying, "I didn't want to lose you, that's why I didn't contact you." Xu Jingjing feels bad. As she is leaving, she receives a message from the teacher, asking everyone to come to school. The next day, all the students go to school. Da Peng is also with Jiao. Then, there is a scene being shot for a drama, where a girl has to say the same dialogues Xu Jingjing had said when Kang Jiawei was leaving. But the girl's performance isn't good, so Xu Jingjing says, "Can I say it instead?" She then comes and, with the same feelings, tries to stop Kang Jiawei from leaving. Kang Jiawei comes from behind and in front of everyone proposes to Xu Jingjing and hugs her. Everyone claps for them. Kang Jiawei says, "Now there's just one thing left." Xu Jingjing asks, "What?" Then he kisses her, and this is the happy ending of our drama. How much rating would you give this drama, and which was your favorite scene? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos.